Not right, Saints Nation. It's now or never. If we want to stick in this Teemo Cup, we need some energy to get our Saints back into this game. We're going to have Shawnee State University on the blue side, of course, leading 1-0 here in this series as of right now. And St. Clair in the red side, looking to try and make something happen. A couple ban changes, or the only ban change rather, start things off is going to be the Olaf getting taken away from Active Force. In game one, sure, he did find a couple opportunities to find some eliminations, but to be fair, he did not get to the point where he was in his hyper carry kind of status. It was kind of cut short, but at the same time, Shawnee just does not want to deal with it. So fair enough, going to take that off the board, and honestly, going to fire right back against Shawnee State. Bear's not going to be able to have access to that Hecarim this time. But that did mean they had to change their support, which means Rel has been let through and it's been given over to the side of Shawnee State University. Seems to be one of Godzilla Flip's go-to supports, which is crazy to think about considering how good his Thresh was. Okay, a couple of flexible picks for St. Clair to start things off, which I do like. Granted, we did see Miensfo already pilot his Karma in game number 1 to mixed effect. Of course, hard to sometimes judge how the supports are doing when they're on the Enchanter side of things, since it's mostly just trying to buff other people up, but I know early on, Miensfo definitely had a hard time, so if he is going to be back on that support Karma, going to be a little bit nerve-wracking to say the least. The Volibear going to be coming out here. This could go to either Kubra or Active Force, so we don't know who's going to be picking that one up just yet. Solid flexibility, and then in theory, Kubra could be picking up the Karma, or Frez could be picking up the Karma, so lots of flexibility. Right now, Shawnee State does not know what Saints are going for, so they're just going to stick to their guns. Of course, they got to pick up the Rel, but I mean, the Orianna from the Humble Gamer last game was fantastic as well. Mitch Fortune on the Caitlyn, comfort pick it up. That late game with all those Infernal Dragon buffs plus the Infernal Soul on top of that, one auto attack was doing like half HP to a tank. It was absolutely brutal to deal with. Now we get to see St. Clair pick one more champion, and it's going to be the Yone. So this, in theory, or the Yone, depending on how to pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced both ways, but likely going to be Frez, but I guess in theory this could go to Kubra as well. Seen it more in the mid lane. I mean, considering that Humble Gamer, of course, showed which lane or which champion he was going to be picking up, it would make sense if he's already ready to go head-to-head. And a couple bans going through. Udyr is just a strong jungler overall. Going to take that away from Bear, considering he's not picked his jungler yet. And then no Jinx for Lassie this time by. One more ban for the side of St. Clair. They're actually going to get rid of the Scion from Arctic Wolf. That's interesting to say the least. And then the double target onto Lassie, gonna get rid of the Vayne as well. So Jinx, Vayne, and Caitlyn all off the board here for Lassie, which means he's gotta find something a little bit different here. I mean, Kai'Sa, we've seen a lot from him. Might very well be the case, but she did get hit with the nerf bat a little bit from what I understand, so not as good as she used to be. And it looks like Lassie's playing quarterback. We're gonna have the Ashe come out here for Lassie this time. I've seen it a few times. His arrows, shots are not too bad, and we see the Jarvan 4 plus the Shen here. So it's going to be Bear on the Jarvan more than likely, and then the Shen's going to be going up there to Arctic Wolf, which I feel like is just going to be so much more effective than that Scion that he was trying to work with last game. So overall positive drafts here, in my opinion, for the side of Shawnee State. And then Miensfo is going to pick up the Braum to finish things off. So sure enough, that is not a support Karma. I think this is going to be a top lane Karma here from Kubra. That's always the interesting thing when you pick some of these champions early that are not necessarily locked to a specific role. Being able to switch things up like this makes things extremely interesting. So up in the top lane, it's going to be Arctic Wolf versus Kubra, Shen versus Karma. In theory, think the Karma could just kind of bully out the Shen a little bit, but at the same time, it won't be as much of a bully fest as the Gnar versus Scion was. I'm actually still very surprised that the Scion got banned out. They must obviously know something more than I do, because I do not understand that top lane ban, considering how much it basically got bodied, in my opinion. I mean, during the team fights at the end of the game, it did kind of start to find himself a little bit of usefulness, but I never thought it was that much. And the one big time where we did see Arctic Wolf kind of pop off with his one ultimate all the way up the top lane to kill Lazi, that's not a champion issue. That's a why are you positioned there kind of issue. So, interesting enough to see the Scion banned there. Jaybeer on another aggressive, early ganking, early objective kind of jungler with the Jarvan 4. However, Active Force with the Volibear should be able to kind of match him tit for tat. We'll have to see as this game goes forward. Yone versus Orianna. I feel like Frez on the Yone is going to be a little bit slow to start, but if he does eventually kind of break into the Orianna's bubble, we'll be able to do some serious damage. Having the Freljord bot lane here between Lazi's Ashe and Miensfo's Braum, so that is a lot of crowd control coming out of that bot lane, which should kind of open the door a little bit for Frez to find his openings and get some kills on some of these squishy targets here on the Shawnee State University squad, considering the amount of slows and stuns that are coming out of that bot lane alone. So you put that on top of your team being buffed up by a Karma Shield with move speed, and then just have the Volibear diving in alongside you. In theory, I see the combination here. It just requires that the Saints don't get comboed, which is definitely something that I'm going to be worried about, because, of course, Humble Gamer, we didn't see the money combo of sorts in the last game. That being said, though, was still very effective in its own right. The ball from, or the shockwave coming out from Humble Gamer was never, like, right on top of somebody who dove in and just kind of wombo comboed them there. But in this time, you have a Jarvan who just basically makes a bowl with that Cataclysm. If he finds a way to just dive right into the middle of everybody can't move to begin with. That is the easiest shockwave to really combo up with. And then even if you don't want to use it on the Jarvan, I mean, Darrell wants to, like, is okay at going in as well. And then Shen's really good at going in too. You have lots of targets to try and place your Orianna ball on and start a combo of sorts. However, if the combo does not strike gold, that is going to be the opening for St. Clair to do their strong, extended team fight. Because I don't think Yone is going to be like one-shotting people. However, you dodge the initial damage. I think the consistent damage coming out from St. Clair is going to outlast the defenses and the damage coming out from the side of Shawnee State. I very well could be wrong. If anybody in the chat has any other insight they want to throw at me here, by all means, I don't mind being wrong. We're all learning here together here on the Saints stream, and I definitely would love to see what you think going into this game. Just trying to think about some sort of prediction here this time by. Of course, we don't have no gnarly ultimates this time. So what can we think? What kind of combo are we going to be looking for here? Is it going to even be able to happen? Not necessarily sure, so I think we're going to keep this one nice and simple. Do you think St. Clair is going to come back and bring this to a game number 3? Prediction will be up in just a moment. Okay, don't mind me fixing that up right here, right now. I will give you about, let's say, 10 minutes to drop your vote on that one. So, alright, there we go. Once again, of course, now that we're all pretty much set up and good to go, before we hop into game number 2, thank you again to the sponsors that make this all possible. That being St. Clair College, Tim Hortons PC Outlet, St. Clair's SRC and the St. Clair College Alumni Association, as well as the Zuckelman School of Business and Information Technology. Thank you for all of your support here at the St. Clair Saints Varsity Esports team. As you can hear in the background, everybody is hopping on in. We'll transition on over in just the briefest of moments. Saints fighting for their tournament life. If they want any chance to get to the grand finals of the Teemo Cup, they have to stop Shawnee right here, right now, to bring it to a Game 3. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
And we're getting cheeky to start things off with. We have, oh god, we could have ourselves a 5-on-5 bloodbath right off the start. Saints don't know this, but they're walking into a death bush. Humble Gamer on the outside. Can they find it? Right now, that's not looking too good from Yansfo. Again, he is going to be first blood once again here in this fight. Active Force is going to go down. Godzilla Flip is so low, and I don't know why the Saints are still fighting this. Lassie, he's getting aggressive. He is going to find the one. However, there's so many players going down, and this is absolutely nightmare fuel for the side of St. Clair. Kubra, the only one alive, and 2 kills go over to Mitch Fortune? Are you kidding me? And that's just absolute worst case scenario, and I feel bad there from Yansfo. This time, of course, he was the tanky frontline. He is that Braum, but he still just got completely blown up. And then the rest of the squad, they really overstayed their welcome. There was absolutely no target focus, to say the least. There was a lot of low health bars, but on so many players, imagine if that damage was kind of focused in on somebody. The shot calling was just not there in that situation, and the Saints have to be kicking themselves to that level 1 play. I mean, not all hope is lost, but that is an absolute rough start, to say the least, here. I mean, the later this game goes, like, St. Clair's not going to be in a bad situation, or not going to be in bad shape. And to be fair, they actually hit level 2 first still to this bot lane. But just the extra money in the pocket of, or for this Shawnee State squad to start things off could be a little bit brutal. Yeah, either having the 4 kills or having part of it is just going to be a nice boost here. Any trades across any of these lanes should go into Shawnee's favor as long as they trade properly. Well, it's kind of interesting. The first game of the entire semester, we did see ourselves a 5-on-5 team fight. What very well could be the last game of the semester might have started off with a 5-on-5 team fight, but still not going to count the Saints out of this just yet. First objective, going to be a Mountain Dragon, going to be spawning in about 1:20. Is trying his best to kind of mess with Humble Gamer a little bit. Is able to do at least a little bit of damage, but definitely going to take multiple combos to really put any sort of decent pressure on him. Well, now that the dust is kind of settled here, we get to kind of take a look at some of the lanes. Taking the kills and assists out of the equation. The Saints are keeping themselves close, but nobody is really ahead, so to speak, here. This mid lane's basically even. Bot lane down by just a touch. top lane, literally one creep separates the two, so completely even. But it is just how crazy that initial engagement happened that is going to be the big difference here in this game, and the big difference to see who gets this first dragon. In my opinion, this should absolutely go over to the side of Shawnee State without question. However, we do see right now anyway, Jerbear is all the way up on the top side of things, which could leave it open for Active Force to sneak in the dragon for himself. I think Volibear is strong enough to be able to do that. See Frez making his way through, doing a little bit of damage, and able to just zip his way back on under his turret. And actually, it's been kind of quiet. What is up with our dear Volibear friend? And sure enough, he is going to be able to get the dragon. So the fact that Jerbear not going to go for it nice and early with any teammates or anything like that is going to give Saints at least something to start off on the positive side of things. Low-key kind of wishing I didn't set that prediction at 10 minutes, because a lot of people seeing that first initial engagement probably are going to dump those points in to the nope category. And yeah, sure enough, I'm watching this live right here, right now. As soon as you guys see the fight, I'm seeing like hundreds of channel points going in towards the nope, which, in all fairness, I cannot blame you. But this is not done, not yet. Back and forth battle. Frez is going to ult on in here. He might be able to actually 1v1 the Humble Gamer if he can find one more set of cooldowns, looking for one more shot. B is going to be stopped by the turret. There's also another engagement here in the top side of the river. Active Force charging on in. A little bit of support from Humble Gamer coming out here, but Active Force, he is going in. He wants to finish this off. He is one auto attack away, but he's still just getting absolutely owned here. And the Shockwave is going to come in right at the proper time here. Humble Gamer going to turn this fight around. Nothing going right here for St. Clair to start things off there. I have no idea how Active Force could not finish that one off. Just enough lifesteal. Just stop that kill from going down. An absolute heartbreaker. Jerbear getting a little bit overzealous, however. Kubra and Miensfo are here. They're not the most heavily damaging players, but could still make something happen. But Godzilla Flip is still around, so that will get shut down. Like, definitely two rough altercations here for St. Clair, but I haven't seen. I mean, like Frez could very well turn into an absolute beast the later this game goes on, but it's not going to be a very easy path to get there. As we can see, Humble Gamer now has not only those 4 assists from that prior engagement, or from the first engagement, but now has 2 kills under his belt as well, after Active Force really saw red and tried to get the finishing blow.
Never falter.
Big positive for St. Clair right now is the fact that they do still have that first dragon, but when this next one spawns in about 2 minutes, it is going to be another case of a 5-on-5 more than likely, and without question, the Shawnee State University squad are going to be better equipped for that fight, so going to need to find a pick of some sort prior to that objective really spawning to maybe try and turn the tables here. And I mean, they have the players to try and do it. They have the champions that can definitely pull that off. Karma speed boost, Ash arrows, and all the slows that bot lane brings alongside the knockup with Frez. They can definitely make the play happen. It's definitely been a rough little bit, though. Hopefully for the side of the St. Clair squad that they're staying and remaining as tilt-proof as possible. Having so many things just not go your way just barely can definitely shake you up a little bit. That being said, though, for the side of Shawnee State, I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. The level 1 fight goes so well in my team's favor. Get out by the skin of your teeth and still pull a double kill out of it. Only losing the 1 kill. You're feeling pretty good right now if you're Shawnee. And then honestly, in that last engagement too, big props to the Humble Gamer, because he had initially took a fight with Frez and was down to less than a quarter of his health. But upon seeing the fight happen in the river, just hangs around the outskirts and fired the ball back in and found a huge shockwave to just turn it. So a lot of other players in that situation, I feel like, would have just ran for the hills like, hey, I'm too low health, man, I can't help. But using the absolute maximum of his champion in that situation. Big props to Humble Gamer, as we now see Jerbear and Godzilla Flip looking for the dragon. Active Force is here, however. Mienzo, Lassie have arrived. Where is the arrow? Will it find contact? Lassie is getting flanked, however, from Mitch Fortune. Active Force is going to find the first kill, but a lot of damage coming across this St. Clair squad, across multiple members. The tank line is down. That is a Caitlyn trap right on the foot of Lassie. There's no escaping that one. Ace in the hole, finishing him off. Kubra, the last one alive. Another 3 players down for St. Clair. Frez is not going to be able to stop this either, so going to even up here on Dragons, an Infernal one at that, so a little bit of bonus damage. Mitch Fortune, usually the one who has to be bodyguarded, is going to bodyguard the Dragon this time by, so nobody tries anything cheeky. And they're going to secure that nicely. Cooper with a little poke of annoyance, but otherwise all good. Godzilla Flip's still here. Good taunt, actually. Cooper overstaying his welcome and is going to get popped. Mitch Fortune going to be right around the corner here as well. Teleport going to be coming in. This should be from Frez, I do believe. Arctic Wolf is going to basically just sacrifice himself, try to flash over. And Saint's not going to let him get away with that one. Or is he? Frez is going to be running out of time. He's going to zip away with, again, just a sliver of HP. Jerbear is right around the corner. Eventually, the lightning strike from Active Force is going to find it. And nearly getting out there with his life was Arctic Wolf, but at least he did end up, I believe, finding the 1-for-1. The one positive here for St. Clair, they do have the Rift Herald. That's going to be some juicy plate money going into their favor. Lassie might have overstayed his welcome now. He may have slows, but you cannot slow a dash. And Mitch Fortune is going to get that one basically gift-wrapped for free, courtesy of Godzilla Flip. And Mitch Fortune is already an absolute terror. He was doing like solid in game number 1, but he was never really a huge standout until maybe the last couple of engagements. But he already will be an absolute menace here in this second game, with each auto attack just doing so much damage, let alone it being the headshot passive. Sure enough, that's the headshot right there, and the one auto attack basically chunking you for about like a 1/6 of your health. Definitely brutal to try to deal with. Cooper is even kind of getting beat up a little bit up in this top lane, considering the amount of kills and assists that are on Arctic Wolf's Shen. Frez looking for the duel, and as soon as the shockwave comes out, he's going to zip aside. So, solidly done. Mechanically wise, Frez knows how to take these fights, but he's just so ill-equipped compared to Humble Gamer that there's nothing he's going to be able to do. Literally the most minuscule of shields, and no doubt with the turret on his side, Humble Gamer will eventually go down more than likely. There it goes. Active Force going to trade his life for it, however. So a 2-for-1 trade. Humble Gamer not too upset about that. Granted, yes, that was the bounty bonus that is going to go into the favor of Active Force, which, okay, you got that Volibear juiced up a little bit. That's good to see. And I know for the Saints side of things, it may sound like I'm talking sad or I'm definitely disappointed, but of course, Just the plays aren't necessarily here as of this moment, but of course still plenty of time for St. Clair to make the adjustments. Sure, they're behind, but I've seen crazier things if they can make the comeback. Next Dragon going to be in the next minute 30. I feel like at this point, Saints just have to give it up and try and farm the best they can. Right now, they're not in any threat of a soul happening yet, and if they try to just 5v5, without question, they're going to get smoked. So they have to just kind of play it slow. And it's going to definitely take some patience, because in order to win this properly, they have to play really boring. That being said, though, they're going to try and make a play up here on the top lane here with Arctic Wolf, but you can see he may only be level 10, but he's still so tanky. Eventually is still going to go down. That's going to be the 4th kill of the game for Active Force. So it may not necessarily be the Olaf, but he's still finding so many kills here in the jungle. Possibly a beacon of hope here for the St. Clair squad, as we do see this bottom turret end up falling. If only Saints are able to find a pick onto Mitch Fortune. He's still the only one who has that initial bounty from the level 1 engagement. Whoever kills him off will get a bonus of 600 gold. Mansfo's Glacial Fissure is going to get absolutely nothing, so everyone's going to retreat back in. And to be fair, the Saints are actually not looking to give this dragon up. It'll be here within the next 5 seconds. And it's going to be a pretty much head-on collision. Saints aren't even full strength here as of this moment because Kubra is still on his way back. And then it's like, oh, so is Arctic Wolf. He's up in the top lane, but he does have that Stand United ultimate, of course. And this is absolutely worst-case scenario here for St. Clair. Lassie is going to get absolutely jumped, taken down like it's nobody's business. The fact that Saints split up there was the absolute worst-case scenario. Half of them going through the river, half of them going up top. Just not going to be going into their favor at all. This dragon should be pretty well uncontested, and the Saints are going to be back on the drawing board once again. Going to have to take their time to try and get back into this one, but how much can they survive? We already see Baron, or not Baron, but Rift Herald. We're not even at Baron right now. It's not even 20 minutes. We're at 17 minutes here. We have Rift Herald going to be coming around the corner here for the side of Shawnee State. They can definitely do some damage with that as well, considering the amount of damage they've done without the Rift Herald already. Looking to maybe try to make the play, because this Rift Herald is going down kind of slowly. I mean, if they can catch Shawnee State split up, this could very well be helpful. Godzilla Flip, though, in the background, going to really try and mess alongside the Saints players. But here we go, 5-on-5 underway. That is going to be Mansfield getting gobbled up by the Shockwave. Humble Gamer going to find his 4th of the game. What other damage is going to be done here? We're going to see Sione as Frez going down. And Mitch Fortune finding himself as 7th. He's on the way. He's leading the charge. Ace in the hole gobbles him up as well. There's the triple. Kubra gets sniped. Jerbear is right there as well. Gonna possibly let Kubra live, but that's another 4 members of St. Clair all going down. Saints are trying to make plays, but like I was kind of saying before, in order for them to come back, I think they just have to play like so passively that, to be fair, sometimes it's not even fun. Like, you just kind of, you stay safe, you farm up. You probably even go all the way to your inhibitor towers, and then maybe you can try something. But at the same time, I'm not the coach. There's a reason I'm just here behind the commentary desk. These guys are trying their best to get out of a sticky situation. But the gold lead is definitely starting to amass up against them here. Jerbear going to pick up his Rift Herald in his pocket, ready to go. And then props to Jerbear. In the last game, he was basically the hyper carry for that squad, with so many of the kills being on top of him. But this game, not a single kill. He's just setting everybody up. Of the 19 kills in this game for his team, he's been a part of 16 of them, just passing them over to his teammates. Dragon number 4, still about 2 minutes and 35 seconds still left on the clock. Baron Nash are going to be here in 30 seconds as well. And with how far ahead Shawnee State is, in theory, like one more pick, one more rough fight or something like that, they can probably pick up an early Baron and really do some damage, especially if they still have the Rift Herald in the pocket of Jerbear. We see Frez diving in. It's able to do a little bit of a combo and take Godzilla Flip down to about half of his health, which granted, it may not seem like a huge amount of damage, but Godzilla Flip is also rather tanky, so fair enough. Frez, though, trying to go up against Humble Gamer, he's going to really try and push his luck, considering he knows that he has reinforcements around the corner and does enough damage to the point where Active Force, he's charging on in, just waiting the stopwatch or the Zanya's out. But can they finish him off? Sure enough, Power Slam takes him down. Glacial Fissure, Mansfield right on target, finds a slow on top of this as well. And there we go, Saints actually pulling through with a couple of kills here. Find themselves a double. Frez going to get himself on the board alongside another one from Active Force. So, to be fair, I was kind of nervous that the Saints were not playing disciplined enough, but I mean, they made the play, and now they're able to find their opening, and they're going to try and make the push for Baron, which, to be honest, with it being a 3-on-5, try to snag this just so you know that they can't. Could be a huge play, but it's going to require the smite fight, because Jerbear, I don't think he's going to worry about dying in this situation. He just wants to get this Baron. And Saints are going to secure it. Active Force is going to get it. Teleport coming in. That is going to be Humble Gamer. He's going to be boosted up. Jerbear looking to dive on in. Kubra separated from the rest of the team. The Cataclysm itself did half of his damage, or half of his health and damage. So Saints are not going to fight that one. Kill number 20 here for the sign of Shawnee State University. They may have lost the Baron, but they're going to get the one kill. They're going to get a turret. Rift Herald's going to come out to play here in this top lane as well. Not all hope is lost, but you're definitely stepping on thumbtacks here for the side of St. Clair. About 6k behind, which is not the worst that it's been in the series. We saw at the very tail end there, they started to drop around 10. I've seen crazier comebacks, but again, they just have to be so careful with every play they try to make, considering they are basically just completely outgunned in regards to their items. A little bit of a death push here from Arctic Wolf and Godzilla Flip. Those are two tanky members that you don't want to deal with. The Dragon is up as well. They're basically being bodyguards, and sure enough, Dragon number 3 on the board now here for this side of Shawnee State. It's going to force the ultimate here from Active Force just to make sure he can get out of dodge, so at least he keeps himself alive, and now this passive play seems to be a little bit more on the forefront of the St. Clair player's mind. Frez versus Humble Gamer once again, but as soon as it starts getting messy, Frez is going to dip out of there. Active Force in the mid lane here versus Arctic Wolf. Arctic Wolf going to just use his taunt and get himself out of the way. A tank line from Shawnee State all here in the mid lane alongside Mitch Fortune as well, who still has yet to die here in this game. It's not been eliminated at all. 9 kills, 4 assists, no deaths. An absolute terror to deal with. However, if there's one thing we've seen Saints been able to really focus on, and one thing that they're definitely good at, it is making to the back line and blowing up Mitch Fortune. Just haven't quite seen it here in this game. Frez is going to dive on in on Humble Gamer. He does not have his Unstoppable for the Shockwave, but they're just going to trade and actually draw out the Stand United. So to be fair, solid job there from Frez to bait out such an important piece of utility with that Stand United. However, there isn't necessarily an objective coming out in the next couple minutes either. So fair enough, the Saints are they're blowing utility, but at the same time, Shawnee State was like, okay, we don't have to worry about anything right now. You can Stand United up there if you want to, and we can be just fine. That being said, Humble Gamer overstaying his welcome, maybe getting a little bit cocky here. Frez is going to pick that one up. Nice little handoff there from Active Force. Going to give Frez his second elimination of the game. A cute little play there from Lazzy too. Fire the arrow far ahead in case Humble Gamer was looking to dash ahead or something like that, had an item to be able to do so. You move forward, you get hit by an arrow. You move backward, you get hit by Frez. So either way, lose-lose there for the Humble Gamer. Saints are slowly but surely clawing their way back here into this game. This was a 6,000 gold deficit prior, if not more. It is now down to 5, so slowly but surely they're getting their way into this. Lassie still has a bunch of farm. Same thing with Frez. He's found himself a couple eliminations and a couple assists as well. And I mean, like, Kubra having items, it's solid, but he's got the main one that he's worried about. He's got that Moonstone. He's okay with that. That's the main thing that he really needs. Anything else is just gravy at this point. And to be fair, Braum doesn't necessarily need items either, so in all reality, like, Saints do have a lot of what they're looking for, their core stuff. That being said, Shawnee, they have their core stuff, and then they have a little bit of extra sauce, to say at least, in regards to their items. So, still undergunned, but it's not like they're missing big pieces that they would want for their core functions. Frez looking to get aggressive again, hops on in onto Humble Gamer, and that's just it. You break the bubble, and that's your opportunity to strike. Humble Gamer about to go down. That's going to be ace in the hole, though, going right on top of Frez. Arctic Wolf might be able to just auto-attack his way down with the help of Humble Gamer. Not going to be the case, but here comes the cavalry. Mitch Fortune has arrived and is able to take care of Frez, but the 1-for-1 against Arctic Wolf, I guess Frez will take that for now. One thing, however, to note is when this dragon does end up spawn, we do see St. Clair setting up for it. However, Frez is going to be spawning right after the dragon actually shows up. Arctic Wolf will be not only spawning sooner than the dragon's return, but he has a teleport to get him there instantly. So Saints more than likely are going to be playing underhanded for this next battle. Active Force going up against Jerbear in a 1-versus-1 may be a little ill-advised. I'm not sure if the Saints can take this fight, to be fair. No Ash Arrow available. Only major CC in this situation is from Miensfo's Glacial Fissure, which requires him, of course, to line that up nicely. The bonus here for St. Clair is Shawnee has been a little bit slow to get themselves into position. This is allowing Frez to get himself back here in time. Dragon not even started yet, so absolute best case scenario here for St. Clair. And Arctic Wolf, he's just going to walk his way over, so he's not even going to blow his teleport. Good, keeping all that, all his resources available.
Never falter.
Asher is still not available. Arctic Wolf nearly finding himself picked off. However, it's going to be onto Godzilla Flip that they're looking to maybe make the turn on. They got to watch out for the setup. A huge ultimate coming out of Godzilla Flip. Gobbling up everybody on the side of St. Clair. Shockwave in the front line. Frez is actually going head-to-head here with Humble Gamer. Might be able to take him down, but Mitch Fortune in the back line going to make things extremely difficult. But Frez did win that fight. Lazzy is still in the background trying to kite as best as possible, but is going to go down slowly but surely. Everybody's dropping. Quadra kill over to Mitch Fortune. And he still has the ace in the hole. Can we see the Penta? We're not going to get it. Kubra going to run for the hills. But the big part about all of this is going to be, I believe, the soul, Dragon Soul here for the side of Shawnee State. It isn't the Infernal one, so it isn't in regards to damage. But with this side of Shawnee State already having a bunch of damage, the fact that they now have themselves a bunch of movement speed just makes it so they can position themselves that much better, get to where they need to go that much quicker, and be able to avoid anything that St. Clair throws at them just that much better. Is going to make things extremely difficult for St. Clair. Humble Gamer going to teleport his way back into the battle, able to clean up this Baron nice and quickly. Kubra going to look to try and make the play. A little bit of a Hail Mary there from Miensfo as well. But the Baron is going to go into the pocket of Shawnee State once again. All double buffed up and good to go. Humble Gamer nearly going to get dove on by Active Force, going just Mach 10 apparently. Charging on through. And to be honest, the Saints might be able to pull something off here. The big damage dealers are not here though. Ash Arrow is going to take care of Jerbear in the background for just a second. Where is Frez? He is here in the battle now. Just a matter of catching him out. Actifor is going to step on a trap and nearly get himself smoked. They're going to run for the hill. Saint's going to take their 1 kill on to Godzilla Flip and go, but that's still a very small victory in the grand scheme of things. The grand scream of things. Urkos in the chat saying, didn't Zeddy or Coach Zeddy say that this was going to be an easy 2-0? That's what I was saying earlier, is that like it was getting to the tail end and they're trying to like figure out all of their schedules and whatnot and how much practice they could get in. And Zeddy was confident that this was going to be an easy 2-0 and that they were okay having maybe a bit of a lightened schedule. But I tell you what, looking at the game that I'm seeing right here, right now, that very well might not have been the case, because Mitch Fortune and the rest of this Shawnee State University squad absolutely showing up to play here tonight. With a solid game 1 and so far an extremely convincing game number 2. Saint's going to try and make something happen, though, but Actiforce is getting pinged down so much before the fight even gets an opportunity to start. He's going to have to go all the way back to the base. Frez is going to look to try and make the play, but there is no Actiforce yet. He's in the background. Frez is basically forced to tank it, and he is not a very tanky member. Jerbear going to dive on in right on top of Lassie. Lassie goes down to Humble Gamer, and here comes Jerbear. He was fed up with giving everybody else the kills. He's going to give the double for himself. An ace to the Saints team, and this should be, at the minimum, the inhibitor, but they could probably go for more in this situation. With like 23 seconds on the earliest player, the GGs are coming out. Shawnee State absolutely feeling themselves, and rightfully so. They had this thing won at minute 1, and they are going to take this in 2-0 fashion over St. Clair College. An absolute painful way to finish the season here for the St. Clair College League of Legends team. But unfortunately, live and learn, and to be fair, this Shawnee State University squad, compared to what we saw of them last time by, they definitely learned a lot, and they absolutely crushed it here in tonight's matchup versus St. Clair, taking us down 2-0, and with that first one, of course, being done so quickly, or not that the game was done so quickly, but you can tell that morale was absolutely shot right off the start. Definitely hard to deal with there for St. Clair, and going to end up falling out of Teemo Cup. Really looking for a few things here. Don't mind me. Definitely a rough one nonetheless, though. So one thing I do definitely want to thank everybody for is for tuning in across all of our matches here for the League of Legends team, and for, well, thanks for supporting the Saints overall, but of course, big thank you for supporting the St. Clair College League of Legends team. I know we got to see a lot of them in this season. We pretty much tried our best to make sure that as many matches of theirs as possible got on stream. A lot of them lined up nicely too, so between Upsurge, then OPSC and CLOL, Jury Invitationals, and all these other tournaments that they got a part of, we got to see a lot of our League of Legends squad, and overall, a very successful, a very strong year. It's not necessarily going to end off on a high note, but still, hoping that everybody still sticks to it, and we're still proud of you nonetheless. So, looking forward to the next semester, starting, of course, in September, which, that being said, of course, for anybody who's on the outside looking in, maybe to want to try and make a run for a position for themselves, I do want to quickly throw it over to our recruitment ad here in regards to the stclairsaints.ca/join website. We are already signing people for September 2021, so if you think, oh, it's only April, I still have plenty of time, no, get to it and get to it now. Otherwise, your spot may be already taken by the time you even apply. And of course, again, big thank you to everybody for supporting, tuning in, and supporting your classmates, your teammates, or just our program itself, family members, friends, whatever it may happen to be, whether you're here for St. Clair, whether you're here for Shawnee. I think Shawnee was streaming as well, so again, I'm going to check out their broadcast a little bit later and see how it compares to ours, always looking to learn off of new people. But speaking of broadcasting, actually, for anybody who's also looking to maybe be kind of in the position where I am right here, where you want to be one of the voices of the Saints Gaming or the St. Clair Saints Varsity Esports team here on the Saints Gaming CA channel, be sure to join our Discord. I think !Discord should pop open our invite link in the Twitch chat, and be sure to join us and send me a message, and we can start leveling up your commentary for the new semester coming up. Always looking for new commentators, always looking up for new observers as well. So if working behind the scenes or working on air for production is something that you want to take seriously, or even just try out, regardless of your experience level, please send me a message. And with that being said, one more time, we're going to take a look at the schedule before we do throw it out for the rest of the night. And that being said, of course, April 12th, that's going to be on Monday. We do have Play versus Overwatch action. Couple more weeks of Play versus here. Seasons are winding down, but we're not done quite yet. And on Wednesday, Fortnite Trios for Play versus. Then Thursday, we have the double header of Play versus Rocket League. Friday, we take a break from Play versus and join our Hearthstone squad in the Hearthstone Collegiate event. Collegiate Championship, that's what it's called. Catching me off guard here. And then we wait until then next Tuesday, where we have Fortnite making a return, but it'll be the first time we get to see the Fortnite squad play in solos. Squad overall is doing very well there, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that differs from a trios match. Trios is already chaotic. I'm curious as to how solos go. And lastly, before we close out, one more time, thank you to the sponsors that make this all possible. That being St. Clair College, Suckelman School of Business and Information Technology, St. Clair College Alumni Association, St. Clair's SRC, Tim Hortons, and PC Outlet. Thank you for supporting us here on the St. Clair Saints Varsity Esports team. And last thing to note as well, if you want to catch any of the matches that have happened over the past semester or so on our Twitch channel, every VOD from this semester as well as past semesters are all there as highlights, not going anywhere. Feel free to check them out free of charge. But with that, I'm going to be closing out here for tonight. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. My name is Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danners, your producer here for the St. Clair Saints Varsity Esports team. Thank you for supporting our League of Legends squad, and we'll catch you on Monday for some Overwatch.